Welcome back to Market Headlines. Seeing more and more mangrove forests are trapped in a critical condition, the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries is intensifying mangrove rehabilitation program this year. The total mangrove forests to be rehabilitated in 2021 will reach 2,400 hectares.
The Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries gets additional budget of 43 billion rupiah from Finance Ministry. The fund will be used for mangrove rehabilitation program. Mangroves forests need to be rehabilitated and protected because the forests provide a crucial defense against coastal erosion. The roots bind the soil together and change the water flows, preventing the removal and sediment from shorelines. The additional budget is used for the implementation of rehabilitations of mangrove forests in 4 provinces, including 6 districts in Central Java Province, 3 districts in Banten Province, 10 districts in West Java Province, and 12 districts in East Java Province, with a total planting area of 2,008 hectares. Apart from planting, the additional budget is used for seed procurement, assistance with facilities and supporting activities. All mangrove forest rehabilitation activities are carried out throughout labor-intensive system with a paid wage component of 9.64 billion rupiah. From all sources for IDX Channel.
The Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries got additional budget of 43 billion rupiah from Finance Ministry. It used to rehabilitate the mangrove environment. But we may wonder, why is it so important to get many attention from the government, right? And therefore, in this infographic segment, I would like to explain to you on how important is the mangrove ecosystem in Indonesia and also how the condition is right now. So let's take a look at the first graphic, as the IDX Channel team has gathered several data for you regarding the reasons on why mangroves matters. First of all, it's the natural coastal defense. And the second of all, it's a carbon sinks as it absorbs carbon dioxide. And then the third one is that they provide livelihoods around the mangroves area and also encourage the ecotourism, as we know, and we can see all around Indonesia we have the ecotourism of mangrove forests. And the last one is that it is rich of biodiversity. So the mangroves are important to people because they help to stabilize Indonesia's coastline ecosystem and prevent erosion. So mangroves also provide natural infrastructure and protections to nearby populated areas by preventing the erosion and also absorbing storm surge by impacts during extreme weather events such as hurricanes. And the most important thing is mangrove forests capture massive amounts of carbon dioxide emissions and other greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. And then it trap and store them into the carbon-rich flooded soils. And Indonesia's mangroves contain by 3.14 billion metric tons of carbon. And this is one of the third of the global coastal carbon stocks. Well, this is important ecosystem service as we face the climate change. And this buried carbon is known as a blue carbon because it is stored underwater in the coastal ecosystem like mangrove forests, seagrass, bass, and also the salt marshes. But yet, despite their importance, mangrove forests are under the threat. Globally, over the third have already disappeared. And when it comes to Indonesia, Indonesia contains the largest area for mangrove forests in the world, and therefore government works hard to protect the mangrove forests. Let's see the target set by the government through the next graphic. We can see 2021 Indonesian mangrove restorations by the government. As we can see, the Ministry of Finance just gave additional budget to the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries by 43 billion rupiah, and it will be used for the mangrove rehabilitation. And then the mangrove plantation is that it's targeting 2,008 hectares. And then mangrove development will be in the Central Java, West Java, Banten, and also East Java. And then apart from planting, additional budget is used for seed procurement, assistance with facilities and supporting activities. All mangrove forest rehabilitation activities are carried out through a labor-intensive system with a paid wage component of 9.64 billion rupiah. With a total additional area of mangrove forests that will be rehabilitated to 2,400 hectares, the absorptions of labor during COVID-19 pandemic will also increase. And the labor-intensive activity of mangrove rehabilitations have been proven to help communities' economy during a pandemic. And plus point, government has regular target on rehabilitating the mangroves itself. So let's see the target in the next graphic. Through the next graphic, we can see regular mangroves rehabilitations target by the government. So regularly, government will rehabilitate around 391 hectares mangrove in 2021, and then the next year, and also the upcoming years. And then, what's the impact? The impact is that it can absorb 1,673 workers approximately. And the next one is that it can absorb around 16,000 days of work. And yes, the mangrove rehabilitations is the ministry's regular program. The aim is not only as an economic activity, but also protect and restore the coastal ecosystems for damage. And mangrove forests are found in many parts of Indonesia, with the regionally important mangrove ecosystems located in Papua, Kalimantan, and also Sumatra. And about 3 million hectares of mangrove forests grow along Indonesia's 95,000 kilometer coastline. And this is 23% of all mangrove ecosystems in the world. However, over the past 3 decades, Indonesia has lost 40% of its mangroves. This means Indonesia has the fastest rate of mangrove destructions in the world. So let's see the proportions of the mangrove forest, good and the critical conditions, through the next graphic. So the next graphic, we can see among the total of 3.3 billion hectares that mangrove forest in Indonesia has, 19% of it's in the critical conditions. Meanwhile, the 81% of it is the good conditions. But even though the proportions is bigger for the good conditions, but the critical conditions is needed around 19%. And the mangrove ecosystem is in a forest of 460,000 hectares, which is 72%, and 177,000 hectares outside the forest area, which is 27.82%. The mangrove forest outside this forest area is a focus on the Ministry for Rehabilitations. And yes, viewers, mangrove are the magical forests where we discover nature's secrets. They straddle the connections between land and sea, and nature and humans. So let's appreciate what nature has given to us, and let's protect as much as we can as well. Stay tuned to Market Headlines, because we will be right back after this quick break.